Jesus. Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just about to start my rant about life.
Wave 1.
I'm just prepping myself because I'm not even ready to talk about it. Like, I guess here's a good way to start it. Life as a single male sucks, and today's economic climate for the 20-year-old, the 19-year-old, the 18-year-old, whoever it may be. You know, we got these boomer ass parents out here telling people to move out and go live on their own. I've lived on my own for a year. There's a lot there is to learning. There's a lot of positive learning. There's a lot of character growth. There's a lot of character defining struggle you go through. But man, I'm telling you guys, for the average person, you know, that's working a 9 to 5, you know, the grind is real. It doesn't feel like you go anywhere. I'm not gonna lie, I've been at the same job for almost a year now. Uh, I think I've only got a 16-cent raise. Like, thanks. You know? Like, I'm glad make more money than I did when I started, but like 16 more cents doesn't really do me much good. I don't make a lot an hour. You know, I guess it depends on what state you live in. You know, if you live in like New York, you know, 25 an hour is basically 16 an hour here. So, you know, for me to glorify one particular income bracket might be stupid. Depends on how people see it. Also depends on how people want to see it. So, you know, you might live in an area where 20 an hour is a lot of money, or you might live in an area where 20 is not a lot of money.
Wave 2.
But where I come from, 20 an hour is pretty solid. I really feel nervous about getting a job because it feels like I'll mess up something and get fired. Yeah, so the problem is once you become an adult, you know, this is real life. So if you can get a job while you're younger, and I highly recommend it. The smartest thing I could recommend to anybody is when you're 16, get a parent's approval to get a part-time job. Because not only will you have actual money of your own, you know, you can actually start life responsibly like that. I didn't. I started working at 18, but I still lived at home. So I have my mom to thank for it. My mom got me my first car pretty much. I didn't save too much of my own personal money for it. I was working in a hardware store at the time, but, you know, I got really lucky with what I got, so.
Oh, I'm not impressed. I'm merely recalibrating.
Well, that's the nice thing is, you know, COVID's over. You know, like, COVID is over.
It's your funeral.
Those bullshit policies are over. But my issue is this, okay? It really comes down to being on your own. Because you guys don't, like, not you guys, but a lot of guys don't understand, like, a lot of people, rather, not guys, just people in general, don't understand the actual struggles of doing it all on your own. You know, I'm a single man. I don't have a woman to help me out. I don't have a roommate homie to help me out. I'm doing all this on my own. You know, I'm overpaying for rent. I'm in a one-bedroom apartment that I cannot afford. Like, I'm going to explain something. Alright, I'm not bragging by no means. This is if I'm bragging or flexing, it's one strange flex because I'm complaining about it. You don't understand the struggle. Yeah, I'm paying 890 bucks a month for a one-bedroom apartment, and a lot of people will sit there and say, "Ah, that's not bad." Well, it's not bad once you realize I only make 16.30, well, 16.45 an hour now. You know, that's not a lot of money, bro. I really can't afford it. Like that plus my Ford Explorer. Dude, that's a $400 car payment, bro. I feel like I've done lost. Like I didn't like I don't know, man. It's like for a guy there's not very many happy endings. The system is not designed to work for the working class. God forbid if you don't have a college degree. And don't think for a minute I'm advocating for college degrees either. So I think they're quite stupid because college degrees are literally the leading cause of our youth's debt. By a huge means. People really can't actually afford the schooling. School fees are real, bro, and thousands of dollars stack up fast, bro. And before you know it, if you happen to, you know, get a loan for your first car, which so many people get a loan for their first car. Some people get a lot of auto loans. And they start it, right, no big deal. Well, now they're living in a dormitory, they're paying rent for the dormitory, they're paying for it on top of their other school costs. I'm not quite sure how that all works, but I know it's expensive as fuck. And not only that, but you're paying for your own transportation and vice versa, and you're paying them to do your laundry, you're paying to do your laundry. Like every little bill, every little transaction adds up so much, bro. And then by the time it's all said and done, now all of a sudden you gotta owe thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars. And, you know, unless you have a part-time job outside of schooling, because let's be honest, trying to fit a full-time job in with college, it's not fucking easy. It's a challenge. So most of them do like part-time jobs, so they really can't afford the debt they're about to get into. And then on top of that, they have no experience in the job field. Not all the time, but sometimes, most of the time, a lot of college kids don't really have the experience in their job field to get hired in on that job, so they take an internship, and that's just a scam. It's decent. It's decent if you can get a decent deal on it, you know, where it's like, you know, you're kind of guaranteed a job afterwards, or vice versa, at least if it's in a good career field. Maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. To me, an internship's kind of a scam. The best route someone can go for being a working class guy is going for those like solid blue collar jobs where you get an apprenticeship and get unionized. Let me tell you something, as a worker, one of the various things you'll realize is just how quickly your rights as a human being go away. I actually want to read these comments. But that one was too long for me to sit down and really read. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna unplug my filter in my fish tank. Because my actual fish does not like the way it drops the water down. He prefers the water to be more still and slow moving. So, and it's a betta fish, so I mean they're like the toughest fish. Those and plecos, I mean they don't, their actual conditions to like live are a lot more tolerant than that of like, God forbid you have a starfish. You know, those things are really hard to take care of. Also, but that's a saltwater fish, and these are freshwater, so. Okay. Let me go grab my phone real quick so I can plug it up. Okay, because I really want to read these comments here. Well, there's some shit I want to unpack. Okay, I don't want to watch Family Guy. The Family Guy is kind of funny. It's not my favorite adult show, though. It's just not. King of the Hill is just perfect in my opinion. Fisher, chill. My financial literacy teacher told me to be careful when taking loans and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. You're getting into the system of paying it off. Yeah. So here's the issue with the buy now, pay later situation. Paying later sucks. Alright, you pay over time. And the problem with that is, by the time you compound that, like...
You lived. I'm not impressed.
How do I say
I'm
this?
disgusted.
A Ford Explorer was only a $15,000 car when I bought it. Alright? And at the same time, that car is really only worth like, say, 6, 7, 8 grand on average. You know, it's not one of those type of cars that's going to appreciate a lot in value. So regular cars depreciate. Supercars, sports cars, they don't really depreciate as much unless you drive them a lot. So here's something I want to explain in the world of automotives for some people that don't happen to know much about cars. Alright? Take for instance a Mustang, right? The base trim level of that Mustang is not going to appreciate much in value. The higher end trims, like the Mustang GT trims, will appreciate. It has a better drivetrain, it has a lot more horsepower. Because it has a better drivetrain, it's faster. It's more sought after. So thus, it retains and holds its value for about a couple years. But then when the next ones drop out, they oftentimes lose their value. But here's the thing, right? With cars, it all depends on the mileage, right? So the thing with the super fast, high-performing cars, the thing with them is the parts inside of them, like the actual pistons and shit, the engine, everything in the engine block, the cams. To be fast, those parts have to move fast, and that means they wear down a lot faster. That's why so many old cars are so reliable. Because older cars, the parts inside of them didn't move as fast. You know, they're not wearing out as quickly. So that's ultimately why older cars are more reliable. It's not because they're better designed. It's just because they were designed more simply. And they have manual transmissions. The thing with automatic transmissions, yeah, they're easy to learn. Like they're not like you can't fuck up an automatic transmission, you know, because you know what I mean, like it's automatically shifting for you. It's driving itself pretty much. You know, it takes the thrill of driving away. And so car enthusiasts like myself, we like manuals because manuals are inherently more reliable. However, that's not to say manuals are perfect, because if you give a manual car to a person that doesn't know how to drive manual, and they skip a gear, or they're stripping the gears, or they're not shifting properly, or they're burning out their clutch, the problem with that is, yeah, it's not the cars being unreliable, it's just that the person driving it doesn't know how to properly drive it, thus destroying the car. So there's kind of an associated risk with buying a manual transmission if you don't know how to drive manual, but that's a decision that people make. It's not like driving a standard transmission car is a choice that people make, and they choose not to because they're like, I don't want to understand it, I just want the car to drive from point A to point B. It's perfectly understandable, you know. Because when you have to come to a sudden stop and you have to downshift and stuff, like, yeah, it can be a little bit stressful. It makes them have to use their mind more while they're driving. And whilst that may seem like a very impossible thing to do, to think while driving, you kind of have to do it. But that's beside the point. The point is, in the car market, like high-performing cars and whatnot, they hold value. But the problem is, they can also depreciate value if they have a lot of miles on them. Because if you're driving them regularly, you know, you're going to wear out that engine. Those cars are not built to last. They're built to go fast. They're built for tracks. They're literally built and designed so that way a car, like a truck, can haul them in a trailer just to get on the track, then to just go fast for like a little while. So, yeah. If you think about it like that, yeah, you're better off getting a daily driver. And that's why people get two cars. The problem is, getting a daily driver and getting a regular car is expensive. You'll learn really quickly that when you get a daily driver, you know, like a Kia Soul or a, God forbid, you drive a Nissan Leaf or a Honda Fit or something, you know, along that equivalent. You know, like I don't like Japanese cars, so I got a Ford Explorer. But for a long time, my daily driver was a BMW 328i Sport Coupe. So mine, well, it's just a 328i Coupe with the sports package. So, yeah, I had the lower suspension, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it felt really nice on the highway. But I live in Ohio, alright? If you go through Dayton, the city is just ass, alright? There's cracks everywhere, there's potholes, and driving that low suspension, you really felt the boom! Boom! And it's like, holy fuck, dude. You know, like, that was not a pleasant experience. Now I drive a Ford Explorer. I'm trying to get a Mustang. But, you know, I'm really thinking about what I'm gonna do. I guess the whole reason I'm so pissed off is because it's like, being on your own, living dependent. Yeah, I live in Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, the land of dog shit. I love it here. No, I'm not even kidding. Like, I won't live anywhere else. I absolutely refuse.
All those things that help you not die.
Oh shit. Nice. See, I'm from the Kettering area, so, but I work up in Troy, so I'm driving like a solid
Or as fast as you can.
40 some odd minutes to work each day. So I mean, like, it's pretty rough.
Throw my results if you die too fast. My armor.
Like, it's pretty rough because the reality of driving 50 minutes to work each day in a gas-guzzling SUV, it's killing my bank account. Like, it's really killing me. So I'm thinking about moving closer to where I work, because I really can't afford the apartment complex I'm living in right now. Like, $8.90 a month is crazy. But, yeah, no, think about moving closer to, like, say, West Milton, somewhere up more northern, because the rent up north is a lot cheaper than down here, because, yeah. I just died. But yeah, no, rent is so fucking outrageous, and so, like, I hear all these boomers telling people my age to stop being lazy, get out of your mom's house and get a place. It's like, huh, okay, alright, well, yeah, the places that, like, a one bedroom costing $890 is worth more than probably that boomer's fucking mortgage payment. You know, the reality is, it's just like, for one bedroom, for all that, for like no space, it's just fucking ridiculous for 800. Like, I've seen some studios go for 900, and it's just like, there's no space. There's no fucking space. What kind of living condition is that? It's so fucking depressing, and I'm like, this is probably why so many people like give up, because it's like they come to that brutal realization that even if they can't afford to live renting, you're not owning the place you're living in, meaning that the rent always goes up. Every year it goes up by like small percentages, but you compound that over 5 years. And if especially if you're not making a lot of money, like renting is good for people that are really broke and can't afford to get a house. But that's the problem, is we all start off really fucking broke with no credit. Now I have some decent credit. My credit report has taken some hits lately because I've been late on some of my credit card payments. But then again, I've been paying a lot of money for a car I can't afford and an apartment I can't afford, adapting to this lifestyle. And it's just like I've had to make sacrifices, man. Like, it is not successful. I don't make any money from YouTubing. It's almost, you have to have a second job or a side hustle to really make it in this world, bro. And in my opinion, they need to pay security guards more money. Because it's like, for everything that a security guard is responsible for, it is just insane. And the fact is, most of the shit that we learn, people have to go get degrees to learn half the shit about, or go to trade school to learn half the shit that, like, I know. Like, I know how my building works. Why? Because not only do we do all the security guard responsibilities, we also do some light maintenance. And we have to check various things. Like, for instance, one of the things you have to check is the fire pump system. The electric and diesel pump. The issue is, it's like, why do I have to do this? Like, I didn't go to school to learn this. I'm not truly qualified to do this.
Pod closing soon.
You're not paying me extra to do this, so why the fuck am I doing it? It's like, I have to check the PSI levels and a bunch of risers and PIV valves and shit, and it's so fucking annoying. And I have to check the eye wash stations. I gotta fucking, obviously, you're doing rounds and whatnot, but it's like, if you're gonna add to my workload, pay me more. Like, it's one thing, like, like they put us in a company car that we're responsible for. If you fucking wreck it, it's your ass. It's a company car. So even, you're not really responsible for it, the company's responsible for it. They're liable for any damage done to it because the car's not in your name. They entrusted you, they hired you, and they put you behind the wheel of the car. So the company has to take responsibility. So the company's gonna fire you if you crash the car because, A, like,
Don't get too comfy.
they gotta make sure it doesn't happen again. And, like, you can get away with wrecking the company car maybe once. And I say that because I have accidentally caused some damage to the company car. But the reason that I'm still working is because that damage was not my fault. It was someone else's. So, under very specific circumstances can you keep your job. So the thing is, for a lot of people, like, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this, a lot of people smoke weed, alright? I don't personally smoke weed. I don't have anything against people that do, I just think that weed is, I think that marijuana stinks, like, compared to tobacco. But then I have some people saying, bro, it's delusional, and I'm like, I guess I am delusional. But I don't like pot or marijuana. And you kind of can't smoke marijuana at my site because if you do, and they drug test you, and it comes back, THC comes back in your test, they're obligated to fire you even if it's illegal, which it is in my state. Yeah, they'll still fire you. And they're allowed to too. Like, they're perfectly allowed to. It's crazy. So it's like, the fact that I don't smoke weed it makes my life a lot easier, but I know a lot of people that do, and they're good people that just want a regular job like everyone else. And it's like, yeah, they wouldn't last too long in my line of work. The other factor is, like, God forbid if someone gets into a fucking fight at work and you have to fucking break it up. Or you have people smuggling in drugs or contraband into the building, paraphernalia, that kind of thing. Because they're also responsible for almost everything in the building.
Keep the
And it's
Zeds
like,
out of that area.
it really just comes down to the whole, it's not my building, not my responsibility. I don't pay the taxes here, so why am I super, it's like, I get it, without the responsibilities we wouldn't have a job, but it's, you got a lot of secondhand smoke growing up, yeah. Well, it's like, I understand cigarettes now. Like, I get why they exist. They exist because life sucks. Alright, that's the whole reason cigarettes exist. And what I mean by exist is because if people didn't buy them, there wouldn't be an industry. Cigarettes exist because the youth is buying them. Why is the youth buying cigarettes even though, like, Michelle Obama and all the libtards, they did this fucking super massive fucking anti-smoking campaign back in the early 2000s. In every health class they tell you not to smoke cigarettes. They strongly suggest against it. Places, you can't sell it to you, you know, obviously you can't smoke in public places, and a lot of them, there's a lot of no smoke zones and whatever, gotta stay 15 feet away from the building when smoking. They make it such a hassle to smoke in hopes that people would just give it up, but people don't because life sucks, alright? And the reason that life sucks is because if life itself did not suck, then maybe people would actually quit smoking.
I don't know why I gave you money. Spend it, or whatever.
But you know, they ultimately never will quit because, and I'm with you, weed stinks too. It does, bro. It smells weird. And I don't like menthol cigarettes either because I've smoked a menthol cigarette. It's like the cigarette was trying to brush my teeth, bro. I didn't like it. I mean, it's fucking true. Menthol is weird. Like, I felt like I was chewing on a mint while smoking a cigarette, you know. It's like, why is my breath like this? It feels like I just like got drenched with mouthwash. It's weird. I'm not accustomed to it. Black and milds, like cigarellos, you know, like, they're not cigars. You know, that's something that really irritates me as a smoker, is when people try to call, like, cigarellos, like, cigars, or, like, a black and milds, a cigar. It's a cheap gas station cigar. It's like, no, it's fucking not, dude. It's a cigarello. It's just a rolled up cigarette, you know, with a much bigger rolling paper than that of a standard cigarette. Like, don't you dare call that a cigar. Don't you fucking dare. Like, I have cigars that are aged 15 years old. That's a cigar. It's a fucking work of art. You smoke, and then it's gone. It took 15 years of aging. You get your black and milds out of a packet, and I get my cigars out of a cooler at the smoke shop. There's a difference.
That's only the beginning. There's a lot more blood and pain. Do you have a death wish? If not, my armor.
I don't know. Beyond that, though, with life sucking and whatnot for the youth, it's like, you know, because once you start growing up, like, life hits you like a train, bro. It hits you like a brick, and it really sucks. Because it's like, you know, I'm like, I really want a Mustang, right? I desperately want a Mustang. You know, because I'm tired of driving a fucking Ford Explorer. But then again, it's like if I drive it as a daily driver, I'll have 0 MPG. You know, like I won't be able to make it to work each day. It's expensive, and ultimately I'm losing value in it. Right? It's not an asset if it's my only driver. So I'm like, you know, it's the only car I have, and it's a really nice car. So the parts will be expensive if anything happens to it. You know, the maintenance is going to be a lot higher. The car is going to be inherently less reliable by just a little bit. Them Coyotes are really reliable for being high performance. It's the reason I emphasize that. But then again, to the non-car people, you know, they just see non-Honda, non-Toyota, unreliable. It's like, you know, like here's something I want to rant about, okay? People say BMW, and I was a BMW owner, and as someone that strongly and proudly supports BMW, except for their decision with the new M3. I think the new M3 concept looks like shit. Sorry guys, it was the end of an era. The M3s will no longer be cool, and that trust me, I want to cry like a little bitch off stream. Like, you know, you guys would be like, why is us crying? It's because BMW is ruining the M3. But BMW will always be that brand, and that, you know, easily, you know, the 2010 BMWs are like my favorites. Like the 2009, 2010, 2011, 2013, 2014. Like that, those are like my favorite era BMWs to just drive. Not to own, not to race, but just to drive because they're so cool. Like I really enjoyed my 2011 BMW. And I'm glad it was the coupe, and it had a lot of really like good, like the sports package, and it came fully loaded. It was nice having a car with all them fucking features. It was really cool, and it was a really good performing car, and it came like fully loaded, and it just it handled it cornered so well. It got to 0 to 60 so quick. I believe it was like 6 seconds or 5.87 seconds or something like that.
Armor will help you keep your insides.
You know, like it was relatively quick.
Most people prefer that.
It did everything I needed it to do and then some. And, you know, that car made me proud to own cars, you know, and so, you know, it's just like, and I'm going to say something real quick, okay? The problem with BMWs is it's non-car people that own really high-end sports cars or luxury German cars, and they just don't take care of them like you're supposed to. So it becomes the next guy's issue. You're going to hear that a lot, and you're going to say, okay, it's a broken record. You've said it a bazillion times, but it's true. It's really fucking true. You know, you have to put the higher octane gasoline in there. You gotta rotate your, you know, you gotta rotate your tires. You gotta do everything, do your oil changes a little early and on time. When a part needs replaced, put a factory BMW part in it, don't aftermarket it. Unless you know what you're doing. Unless you're a very skilled mechanic. And I mean, like, genuinely, mechanics that modify and highly tuned Beamers, those guys are something else, bro. Those guys are literally, like, super mechanics, bro. Like, those guys know mechanics, bro. And it's like, you know, like, a lot of people bitch about, they're harder to work on. Like, yeah, that's why they're harder to work on, because they don't want you to work on them. I want you to pay a service technician. Why? Because if you work on a BMW, if you fuck it up, you know, if you fuck up, they can't say it's because you didn't. They can't say it's because you went to BMW. It's plausible deniability. All right. Because they are harder to work on, they are, and the parts required are metric, and it's like, and that's something else that pisses me off. When people say they take metric stuff, okay, yeah, most of the fucking shit in our American cars, like Chevy, Ford, and Dodge, yeah, they also use a lot of fucking metric hardware, bro. It honestly, like, no, it's like the most stupidest bullshit fucking excuse.
If I thought that was anything but luck, I would be impressed.
Like, metric is literally like your fucking Toyotas and Hondas have metric parts on them, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, yeah, that's a Japanese car brand. You know, we're the only country. Well,
Move it,
I can't say
idiot.
we because I don't know where
Get
you
some
guys are all
gear,
from. But
ammo,
us
all those things that
Americans were
help
the
you not
only
die.
fucking people that use standard. All right, the American Standard Measurement System. So it's like to expect, you know, like, oh well, the BMW doesn't have standard, doesn't have a three, uh, half and a quarter this or a 3/8 that or a this or that. It's like, yeah, well, it's because it's made in fucking Germany, bro.
Last call for guns and bullets.
And honestly, the other thing is I hear like the JDM community, like they piss me off so much that it just caused me to hate Japanese cars, all of them basically, except for the R34 Skyline, which I'm even gonna tell you it's the most overrated sports car out there. It's overrated because of Fast and Furious. Like people just they just think the R34 the best, you know, the V-spec R34. It's like, okay, bro. The car makes like stock. It only makes like 260 horsepower. It's not a fast car by any means. All right, was not factory fast. I'm modifying them, yeah, not too hard. Yeah, there's a lot of benefit to modifying them. Yeah, there's a lot of performance enhancing stuff you can do to them to basically improve their pretty shitty stock performance.
That's it.
And yeah, I said it. Their stock performance is shitty. Like, it's honestly not that impressive. Like, yeah, for like the little displacement and output of horsepower, it's pretty impressive for how quick it can get up and down. But it's at the same time, it's like unless you're, you know, doing some heavy modifications to it, which by the way, you know, not everyone's gonna want to do that because doing that actually decreases the value of the car. And those cars are so expensive. Like the whole part of owning JDM, the whole reason that JDM got so fucking big was in the 1990s when cars started getting kind of fast and kind of cool, started getting the first bit of technology. The Japs dominated the technology because why? Because of Japan. You know, technologies like the cutting edge innovation that the Japanese have mastered. Yeah, they basically made video games. You know, like they Sony as an electronic company is just fucking crazy. You know, like Japan leads the world in innovation when it comes to technology. I mean, obviously the United States does, duh. But our technology is mostly military grade stuff. Our technology is in our fighter jets and our tanks and stuff. But and obviously the gun technology, the Japanese. Let's just be honest. The Type 99 Arasaka isn't winning any awards for its time, but it was a very accurate rifle for what it was. But you know, compared to something like the M1 Garand, you know, or something like the Thompson submachine gun.
Think slow.
Granted, I can't just boast all about our American, you know, superiority when it comes to our weaponry, because we did have the M3 grease gun, which was literally a $15 submachine gun.
Right behind you.
But
Well,
you know, in the 90s, JDM cars became very popular because, you know, they had a lot of tech at the time that was kind of advanced. A lot of tech-based features and whatnot. Relative, very reliable, they're easy to modify. And honestly, man, like, you know, like, yeah, they had it. I'll give them that. They had it in the 90s. And the main reason why they had it was because, guess what? Everyone can afford JDM. Everyone can afford cheap Japanese cars. And yeah, I said cheap. Because when you compare the price of the NSX and the price of, like, other cars at the time, yeah, the NSX was supposed to be a cheap sports car to basically pretty much not compete with a Ferrari, but make a guy that couldn't afford a Ferrari feel like they're driving a Ferrari. And it's just, like, the JDM community, like, literally, like, they what do you call it? They gaslight themselves, bro. They fucking gaslight themselves so much. Because it's like, what was it, the Mazda 7, oh, what was that car? Hold on. I'm gonna look it up. It was a rotary engine Mazda, not the RX-7. This was like a race car. It was a 787B. You know, and here's the problem. The Mazda 787B was banned, and like the JDM community was like, they banned it because it was so OP, it was so fast, it was so cool. It raced and it had 21 races in its small short time career and only had one win. It's not because it was fucking fast. And it only won that one race because the Mercedes CLK, or I think that's what it was. Hold on. I think it's the CLK, I'm pretty sure. The CLK GTR, no. Yeah, the Mercedes CLK GTR. The reason that those cars, you know, like the whole reason for it winning is because like the Mercedes had like some technical difficulties because like, you know, I don't know, they're racing in like Le Mans races and endurance racing, and you know, we all know that like the German stuff can't, you know, get worn out for long durations of time, but in the milk they were dominating. You know, and I mean, you know, even like the Porsches and stuff like that are really fucking good, and those are also German. And so I don't know, man. So to me, it's like, oh, like I'm not a true car guy, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys that I'm not. I'm a car guy, but I'm not a true car guy. I don't look at a Honda Civic and go, oh, it's a Civic, it's a Civic. Oh my god, it's a fucking Civic. I don't like minivans. I don't like hatchbacks. I don't like wagons. So yeah, I'm not a real car guy. I'll be the first to tell you guys I'm not a real car guy. Why? Because hatchbacks and wagons and minivans are fucking boring to me. They're just as boring as an SUV or a truck. And yeah, I said it, driving a truck is kind of boring. Like, I don't feel anything when I drive those vehicles. Now, granted, some diesel trucks, you might feel some of the crazy torque and horsepower behind them, but it's like, you know, yeah, you feel it, but it's not actually going very fucking fast. And I'm not saying that diesel trucks and trucks can't be fast. They can be fast, right? Like, I've seen some crazy shit, right? I've seen some diesels outbeat Lamborghini Huracans. You know, but that's with a lot of money worth of modifications put into them. Them sleeper builds, I don't like them, bro. Sleeper builds are so lame. Like, there are some cool sleeper builds, yeah, but there are some that are just so fucking lame. It's like, why, bro? Like, I've seen, like, the 7-second Pinto build, bro. It's like, bro, why? Why? Like, it's not cool. It's weird. It's lame. It's stupid. To me, it's stupid. And now, don't get me wrong. You know, you guys are like, well, it's obvious. He only likes supercars. He only likes sports cars. Listen, guys, as a car guy myself, I can tell you, the cars I like are old cars, like 1950s American cars. Right? Yeah, they're slow. Yeah, they're fucking noisy. Yeah, they're clunky. Yeah, they're overly luxurious on the inside. Yeah, they're missing a lot of like the basic features that we're so accompanied to, but there's just something about them that have so much aura, right? It's like a piece of history. I love historical things. So yeah, to me, I like 90s cars a lot. I think 90s cars are really good. 90s cars are the peak of Fiat automotives. Early 2000s in some cases, yeah. But when cars became all about like safety regulations and low horsepower, low outputs, save the environment, this and that, it made cars so like boring and cookie cutter that like cars have literally lost. Like cars are getting so fucking huge and big now for like no fucking reason. Like certain roads in America are kind of uncomfortable. And driving a big SUV myself, you know, like I guess the Explorer is a mid-size SUV because I think the Expedition's the full-size, massive one. And I'm not gonna lie, man, the fucking Explorer, like I said, if I was gonna own an SUV, it'd have to be a Ford. I'm a Ford guy. And that irritates a lot of people, or that's like, a lot of people like start the argument with me, you know. Look at Ford's F1 history, look at like the engines that Ford and Cosworth made, you know, they're very high-end. Yeah, they didn't win as many races as say like Ferrari, but they're in at least like the top 3. You know, like they're very impressive with their race history. And like the Ford GT40 beat Ferrari, you know, so that was a very incredible American win. Now Chevy has like the Corvettes, and I'll give them credit. A lot of like the hardcore Chevy guys don't understand why the newer Chevys are mid-engine. The main reason for it is because so many supercars, car brands were making like shell cars that had like literally the fucking the Corvette engines, the Z06 in them, and it's like Corvette got tired of other companies doing these crazy high performance mid-engine cars that are powered by their engine, and it's like we don't have anything like that, so they just redesigned the Corvette to be like that from the factory. And the fact that they did that is okay. I don't hate them for doing it. I really wish that they would make like a second, like you know how like Ford has like the stupid Mustang SUV? Well, Chevy also has a stupid Corvette SUV, but what they should have done was create 2 Corvettes. They should have created like a modern version of the Corvette Stingray and made it like a 2-door coupe roadster type of thing. And then they should have kept like their sports coupe like supercar looking thing. If they did something like that, Chevy would honestly have I'd have a lot more respect for them, but they just don't. The Duramax engines are not the best diesel engines either. I give it to the Ford Power Strokes. The Cummins is a close second. The issue I have with modern Dodge, I don't like their knob shifters. They're fucking weird in my opinion. So I'm not a big fan of like the knob shifters. That's a huge turnoff for me.
Think fast, or as fast as you can. So think slow.
But yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of the knob shifters. I am kind of a fan of paddle shifters. Like, they're fun. So, like the Ford Mustang GTs with, like, the 5.0 Coyote. Those are really nice. I like those. I really want to get one. But like I was trying to get to my other point earlier, is I'm thinking of honestly getting like a Ford Fusion. I know about the transmission issues and whatnot, but it's like, you know, for what they are, they get crazy MPG. You know, it's got a lot of luxury features that like your typical Hondas or Toyotas really don't have. And at the same time, it's like, it's also a Ford. And the nice thing about like the more modern Fusions is if you're a big fan of like British sports cars, like, and I kind of like British sports cars. I like Aston Martins, right? The grille looks just like an Aston Martin grille. It's just crazy. It's like they literally stole the Aston Martin grille off of like the DB11. It reminds you so much of the DB11 grille. It's crazy, honestly. But to me, you know, when it comes down to like modern cars, it's like people are like, yeah, I drive a brand new Prius. It's like, you know, it's, I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't know if like the true car guys like Priuses or not, but according to so many people I've talked to that claim to be like car guys or the car community or like the, you know, the giga chads of the car community, they like minivans and shit, bro. It's like, minivans are fucking, I'm sorry, bro. They're fucking gay. I'm sorry, bro. Like, they're just, nothing about them seems masculine in any capacity. Like, I grew up, I had an actual childhood, you know? Like, I grew up in the early 2000s. So for me, it was always that weird soccer mom van thing. And now soccer moms have resorted to SUVs, but then again, it's like SUVs also dominate the market because everyone has to have one now, I guess. It's literally so boring and stupid. The fact that they only make SUVs now and people have deprioritized the sedan market kills me, because sedans are my favorite car. Yeah, literally, the boring car, the car that's just literally a car, literally is like my favorite type of car. Like, yeah, believe it or not, yeah, my boring car takes, you know, like, yeah, the car guys, they love their minivans and their dog shit. But I find myself loving like the Panther body Fords. You know, like the Mercury Grand Marquis, the Lincoln Town Car, the Ford the Ford Crown Victoria. Like, those are really nice fucking cars. Like, I really love them because for a long time in like the 1990s, you know, they were the car. Like, the car. It is the car. Um, like, it is literally the car. Alright? Literally the car. You've seen so many, like, police use them. You've seen them as taxis. Hell, I think even fire departments had them. It's like, so many people drove them as, like, basic common commuters. So many old people drove, like, the Grand Marquis and, like, the Lincoln Town cars. It was, like, their Sunday church car. And, like I said, you know, they have, like, the Mustang Interceptors and shit. It's, like, literally, like the Panther body cars, are like the Panther platform Fords are just, they're literally the car, and they're reliable. They're fucking super reliable. Like, I've literally seen, I think the craziest thing I've seen was a Ford Crown Victoria with 628,000 miles. It's like, bro, people talk about, they boast about their Honda's reliability. It's like, yeah, no, anything can be reliable if you take care of it. Like, BMW did a test a long time ago with Mobile One, where they literally put 1 million miles on a 1990s 3 Series to see how good the Mobile One oil was for the car, and it literally made it to 1 million miles. They only stopped. And now, granted, it wasn't on true road. It wasn't on American roads. It was on treadmill, so it's not true driving. But it was running 24/7 and never had an actual time to stop and brake. They only stopped the treadmills for basic maintenance, like changing out fluids and rotating wheels and doing oil changes and putting air into the wheels and doing the basic shit you gotta do to your car. And it fucking did it, bro. It fucking did it. It made it to 1 million miles, bro. So if a BMW can make it to 1 million miles, anything fucking can, and that just fucking proves it. Mercedes-Benz makes some of the most reliable cars. Modern Mercedes, no. Older Mercedes, yes. A lot of vintage Mercedes owners, if they have the privilege to be part of the 1 million mile club, Mercedes-Benz will literally issue you a certificate and a golden badge to put on your car. Because, you know, being part of the 1 million mile club means that your Mercedes-Benz is 1 million miles. There are so many people that are a member of that club. So it's like, yeah, dude, Mercedes makes nice cars. No doubt about it. German ingenuity is great. I love it. I'm a big fan of German ingenuity. Not only in the firearms world, but in the car world. In the aircraft world, it's definitely predominated by Americans. I gotta say, like Lockheed Martin for sure is like my favorite aerospace corporation, because I don't know, bro. The SR-71 Blackbird, the fucking, pretty sure they did the F-22 Raptor, but I know they had the F-35. Like they're making the best of the best, you know. It's crazy, man. But yeah, no, living life as a 22-year-old single male. Mind you guys, I'm not very attractive, so I don't have like that privilege of just going out to the club and getting bitches. Like, I mean, I'll say this, you know, for me being as ugly as I am, I've gotten some pretty women. Put it this way, I've never had a woman I never wanted. So I'll leave it at that. All right, confidence is key, man. My homies, confidence is key. But you know, it's like you can't just walk up to chicks and just get them. I'm not a chick magnet, right? But the frustrating part about that is like being alone all the time sucks. You know, Like I know why most of the men my age, being early 20s, deal with suffer from the suicidal bullshit. It's because the world we live in has failed us, right? Because the whole and it's the rise of femininity. It's like the racial division. No one wants to just unite, bro. There's been on the internet, yeah, I'm seeing it though. People are actually uniting, but people want to get into their identity politics and their gender theory and their this and their that and their oh my god, it's whatever happened to the strong silent type, the people that just do what they have to do and they don't bitch about their problems because they're manly enough not to, and I guess I'm bitching about my problems to you guys, so I guess I'm a hypocrite, but it's I don't want to bitch about my problems. It sucks because, as a man, going to therapy just is just fucking stupid. They're gonna put you on antidepressants and shit, and then you can't own guns, you can't do this, you can't do that, you gotta let your work know, and then on top of that, it's a lot of fucking nonsense. It's a lot of nonsense to just talk. It's less and less guys have a decent group of friends because we're too busy playing video games. We're so comfortable in our own homes. We don't want to leave them to go out and experience the real world. But we're so comfortable in the simulated reality of video games. And I'm not saying video games are bad. Right? To say video games are bad is so fucking ludicrous. Because you can develop meaningful relationships. I have so many close friends on my PlayStation that I met on Play I've never met in real life, and it's that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But it's these kids, bro. It's this next generation that I'm so fucking worried about, man. Because this is all they fucking do. I drive through my old neighborhood, and it makes me cry. I don't see kids playing outside, bro. That fucking breaks my heart. Kids need to be outside playing, bro. Kids need to be outside throwing the fucking pigskin and fucking tackling each other and fucking hitting each other with sticks and doing something productive. Building a fort. Build a fucking fort. Go dig a hole. Go do something. Other than just sit inside and just play video games. It's fucking stupid. Kids are getting obese and overweight and less attractive over the years because they have bad posture. They have no social skills. And then they wonder why these kids are so antisocial and awkward. It's and then, you're putting them into this real life, when they get put into the real life world, it's fucking scary. It's scary for me, and I had an actual childhood. I had a decent role model. I grew up with old parents, bro. I grew up without the participation trophies. My dad broke my participation trophies. You know why? Because I had to earn my fucking trophies like a man. Alright, and that's how everyone should be raised, the competition has to be a thing. It's okay to not be perfect. That's what makes us special. Alright? And it's the fact is, we've become so anti-fucking against that. And it's literally because of the internet. It's literally because of the internet. The internet has made the world a smaller place. Here's the reality. I'm gonna chop it up with you guys and keep it real. Alright? I went on a date with this Colombian girl. The most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life, bro. She looks like a straight up Instagram model. Alright? And I'm ugly as fuck, bro. I'm generic looking. I've shown my face on my channel. If you guys don't believe me. I'm not good looking, bro. And I'm pulling this sexy Colombian chick, right? In her country, the girls there they all look like that, bro. They're all sexy. So she didn't feel sexy in her country because she wasn't sexy in her country. She was sexy in America. Why? Because she's fucking she's a fucking a banger ass Latina, bro. She's hot as fuck. She's Colombian, bro. She was dummy thick. In all the right ways, she wasn't fat. She had a fat ass, but she wasn't fat. And the whole coping mechanism is so unhealthy. The whole, it's okay to be not okay. It's no, the fuck, it's not okay to not be okay. Not being okay means a lot of things. It sucks. I want to be okay. I want to go to bed and just go to bed. I don't want to fucking sit up there thinking about how my life is fucked up all the time. I don't want to think about how the next generation is going to have a harder time than mine. And I don't want to sit up and think about, the rising cost of living and, all this other poverty bullshit. This thought process of being stuck in a rat race, working a 9 to 5, working jobs I hate to buy shit I don't ultimately need. Like, it's gloomy, it's depressing, it sucks. It's a cycle, and it's almost unbreakable. And I don't want to constantly be thinking about it. That's what it means to not be okay, and that's not okay because that will break you down, bro. It leads to depression, and depression can lead to suicide, and that's horrible because there's enough tragedies in this world as there is. You know.
That means kill any
So
threats that get near.
I think the point of what I'm trying to make here is, you know, society has gone the wrong way about doing this, and one day there might be a revolution against the system that has failed us. The system fails. It does. And I mean, look at the elderly people. Look how they get treated, bro. They get treated like they're stupid. Right? They had to work for what they had. You know, you know, it's like, yeah, the elderly are kind of stupid. You know, yeah, they can't adapt to like technology and this and that. Some of them can, some of them can't. Yeah, some of the elderly people don't understand I don't know, bro. Elderly people, I don't even bother arguing with them because A, like they're gonna die sooner than later, you know. And when they do, when they leave this world, it's like it's sad, but at the same time, it's also like, you know, it's like they don't understand what my generation is going through. They blame my generation for being lazy. It's just we don't want to die for nothing. You know, a lot of us don't have a real reason to live. Unfortunately, a lot of us aren't in relationships. A lot of us don't have meaningful friendships or a meaningful job or a purpose or a family or any reason really to go on. We just get sort of stuck working and buying stuff we don't need to fill pointless desires to then, you know, be subjugated to Instagram or Facebook or this or that about all these celebrities and all these other people that live perfect lives, and we try to replicate that, and we hold ourselves to unrealistic standards. And it's unhealthy and it's fucked up. But there's a lot of women today that have these crazy unrealistic bullshit standards, like you have to make 6 figures, you have to have a 6-pack, you have to be 6 foot. I'm 6 foot tall, alright? I don't really have a 6-pack. I'm built, I'm not overweight, I'm not obese or anything like that. You know, I work, I'm a hard worker, I'm very adaptable, I've adapted to every situation that I live in. I've had a rough life. You know, I can handle depression and drama, you know, that's why I'm still standing, you know, I'm tough, you know, I know how to defend myself, I'm skilled at what I do, you know, like, I know a lot, I'm very intelligent, I'll tell you that, you know, and even so, these qualities I have mean nothing, it literally means almost nothing,
you're not this good.
Because it's like, you know, you try to have a real conversation with a woman, like an actual conversation, not about how much you make or not about what you do for a living. Those questions are bullshit, bro. They're just bait questions that sort of emphasize whether or not you qualify to date her or not. If you answer those questions honestly, chances are you're not going to be able to be qualified to date her. Why? Because she's going to go for the guy that makes more money. It's fucking crazy. And no, it's not. You know, the whole reality is, you know, you got these overprivileged fuckboys that are like, huh, you make more money, bro. It's like, yeah, dude. In today's world, money is the core problem here, you know, and I'm not saying communism is a solution. I'm saying that we're suffering from a money issue, bro. Like, the cost of living goes up, the cost of but the actual wages don't go up, and the problem is, it's like, the cost of housing is fucking crazy. You have these delusional fuckers like Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey's a great guy, don't get me wrong. Alright, if you take financial advice from Dave Ramsey, you might be very successful, you might have really good spending habits and vice versa, making very adult, responsible choices. An adult choice is always a harder choice to make. But it's like, I don't listen to Dave Ramsey. If I listen to Dave Ramsey, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And yeah, that means I wouldn't be suffering as much, but I would have had to go through a far greater struggle and living a far less satisfying life. See, the part of satisfactory, like the whole reason that life can be satisfying is that we find satisfaction from life. And the problem is, it's like, to find that satisfaction is really rough. Especially for someone that's just is very simple-minded like myself. Like, I'm not saying that as an insult either, I'm just saying that in general, I don't want $1 million, I don't want a Ferrari. I mean, who couldn't want a Ferrari? But still. You know, I don't expect this crazy bullshit glamorous lifestyle. I just really want to have a decent group of buddies I like going shooting or working out, playing video games. This is my life, bro. This is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. This is what I enjoy doing. I don't really enjoy sitting around talking about fucking pointless shit, bro. Like, the stock market or this or that. It's just it's all fun. You know, and I hate having to pretend to be someone I'm not. I hate having to pretend that my life is perfect. It's not. It sucks. Yeah, I'm not satisfied with my life. You know, it doesn't mean that I don't have enjoyment out of it, though. I don't know, it's like a conflicting process, you know. I'm unsatisfied with where I live, and it's not enough space. You know, I'm overpaying for this place. You know, I'm paying I'm paying more than a mortgage on this one-bedroom apartment, bro. I need to get a house. I need to get actual space. I need to get a girlfriend, bro, because I'm tired of just like having very dumb friendships that like I'm not saying my friendships are dumb and pointless, but some of them kind of are. Like sometimes it's just like all I do is just play one type of game with one person, only to help them with their struggle or their thing in a fucking video game. It's like it's pointless, bro. It's like if we don't talk about our own lives, we don't have a real connection. We just talk about video games. I love talking about video games, but it's like not a real fucking friendship. It's more like an acquaintance shit more than anything else. And I have too many of those. But I have a good amount of friends that I talk to about life, and you know, those subjects are more deep and meaningful. But it's also like that intimate connection. So like I found going to church to be like the next best solution to this. Because at least I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. And like, you know, I think it's important for us to all set realistic standards for ourselves. Life isn't always going to work, you know? You're not always going to have everything you want, and that's okay. But it sucks when you have to fucking struggle so hard to have the few things that you have.
Their forearms usually survive.
I made $4,000 one month. Alright, just so I can get a PS5 and buy a couple of games. Because it costs so much to live here. You know, it's like I struggle so hard. And almost nothing to show for it. I mean, yeah, it's a brutal statement, but like, I don't feel like I have anything to show for. Like, you know, I have a apartment. You know, like, I don't own it, it's not mine, it's the apartment complex's apartment, you know, whoever owns the complex, and it's not mine. You know, I don't like it, bro. I don't like renting. You know, I know I'll have to probably rent for another year. That's what I'm looking at. Like, I gotta move closer to my job, so I'm commuting a lot less. Ideally, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, fuck it, stutter brother, get the words out. What do you call it? I'm thinking about getting another car. And a lot of people call me delusional for it, but it's like, you know, if my car fucks up, no one's gonna bail me out. Not like I can just call Lyft or Uber. You know, it's gonna take time to fix that car, and if that car has to be put on extended leave so I can get to and from work. I'm not 25. No one's gonna rent a car to me. You know, so I don't. And the whole, well, do you have anyone you can trust or that will trust you? It's no. No one fucking cares about me, bro. Like, and I don't mean that in the sense of like you have to do things in order to care about me. No, I mean like no one genuinely would entertain that idea. Yeah, it's selfish to say that. There's a lot of people that care, but it's like, yeah, a lot of those people also don't have a lot of money. most people also don't have a secondary car. And so I'm young, you know, and I gotta make these decisions. You just need one car. Okay. Until it breaks down. You know, cars aren't perfect. My Explorer has 150,000 miles on it, though. You know, like, granted, it is pretty reliable for what it is. You know, it's been very faithful for me this past year. But it's like, you know, your second year of owning a vehicle that's used with that much mileage, yeah, you're gonna start seeing some more expensive things start coming up. I had to put around $800 worth of repairs in it so far in a year, so that's not too bad for a whole year. You know, that's 365 days. That's less than 2 cents a day. You know.
Don't bleed on the pod. It was hard to steal this many.
You know, if you just look at it like that, you know, then yeah, it doesn't seem so bad. But when you look at like a greater scheme of things, you know, like, yeah, if this car does have some serious issue with it, if someone hits my car, you know, it's the actual repair place or my insurance won't give me a car to drive. And it's also like, you know, I can get a Ford Fusion. They're like $7 grand. Put down $3 grand. My payment would be less than $100 a month. I can make literally quad payments on it,
if you can,
and just pay it off in like a year or two, and it still wouldn't be quite as bad. You know, like I say, overpaying for an Explorer. Now, you guys might be thinking, you know, yeah, you still owe this much on the Explorer. Yeah, well, my mom sold her house, and my mom's actually going to pay for a massive chunk of my Explorer. I think 7 or 8 grand. So I could probably have the Explorer paid off in like less than 5 months. Less than 5. I'm moving out in 2 months, so it's like 3 months after we move out, and I'll have that car paid off, maybe even less time. But at the same time, it's like, you know, when I get off my bullshit, you know, payment on it, on my loan, the protection plan on that loan, or I can have an extended plan on it because it's a decent protection plan. It'll last up to 200,000 miles. Honestly, bro, if anything does happen to my car, I do want to be able to repair it. So I would like to have a good protection plan on it. So, yeah, I'm going to keep that because I want to be able to repair the car if anything happens to it. And I hate saying this because, like, yeah, I hate SUVs, but it's like, having an SUV is really nice. I like being able to put groceries in the back and pretty decent sized stuff, you know. I know that on my smaller coupe or sedan, I wouldn't be able to do that. It's easy in some instances. And this is where I die. But, you know, like, I do a lot of shooting, so being able to easily throw a bunch of guns and equipment in the back is no issue. And it's a good person hauler. It's a 7-seater car. So it's like, you know, that's really nice for friends and long trips, you know, or short trips across state lines or whatever, and you can pack a bunch of stuff with you. It's a relatively safe car. It's decent. It just doesn't have a lot of good MPG on it, and it's a pretty heavy, big vehicle, you know. So I thought about keeping what I call it Dora the Explorer, but I'm actually thinking about getting a bush guard on it. Right, like what the police have, to sort of make it good on head-on-head collisions, or if someone happens to pull out in front of me and hit the front, you know, at least it's going to preserve some of it, or if I hit a deer or something like that, God forbid. But if some bullshit happens to my car, at least it will be more protected with a bush guard, or vice versa. And I feel like putting a small 1.5-inch lift on it, like, it wouldn't be a super massive lift, it would only be like an inch lift, you know, just enough to get more clearance underneath the car, you know. So it'd be better at off-roading and dealing with certain situations, and I'll put slightly bigger wheels on it, so it'd be a little bit nicer in terms of just handling bumps and dips in the road, which is a lot. So, in particular, obviously having snow tires to throw on there, having an extra set of rims and some snow tires on them, and just throwing those on in the wintertime because it snows a lot here. It's just one of those things that I feel like would be really nice about the Ford Explorer, taking advantage of its strong side. Because as an overall car, driving it daily, I don't like it, bro. It's this big SUV. I feel like a soccer mom with no family. Like, I don't like it, bro. Yeah, going from a nice luxurious BMW to like a Ford like mom SUV, just I don't know. I feel emasculated. And like, yeah, it's superficial. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, no, he deal with it. Like, but I don't want to. Like, I'm paying so much money for this thing I don't even really care about too much. Like, yeah, if I was to own an SUV, yeah, it would have to be a Ford. But I don't know, in a lot of ways, I'm kind of glad I have it. It's been an interesting experience. But yeah, now I'm gonna put some new headlights on it, and we're gonna redo the car a little bit. We're gonna put some much needed stuff that needed to be replaced like a while ago on it to make it more nicer, I guess. I do want to put those like lights on like the roof of the car. That'd be kind of cool. Make it look a little bit more off-road capable, like a more masculine kind of look to it. So, definitely a lot more tougher and a little bit more safer and a little bit more off-road friendly. Overall, I think those are nice upgrades to add to the car, and so that'd be kind of cool. Because then it's like slightly personalized a little bit.
They're right behind you. Well, almost.
But, yeah. So I'm thinking about getting a Ford Fusion over the Mustang. The Mustang can honestly wait. With the money I'd be saving each month from driving a Ford Fusion, so I'm having to refill my gas tank at least twice, sometimes even three. It depends if I do a lot of after work, like door dashing and whatnot. If I do a lot of door dashing after work, I definitely have to do it 3 or maybe 4 times a week. It's a lot of money, and it goes by pretty fucking quick. So the money I spend on work, yeah, with the commuting time being a lot less, the amount of distance traveled would be a lot less if I moved closer to work, which would be a lot nicer for the Ford Explorer in terms of economy. But if I have a Ford Fusion as, like, say, my it's like there's a right way and there's a wrong way to go about it. If I go for a used Fusion, all Fusions are used because they don't make Fusions anymore.
The resupply
So it's like,
is open. Spend your dosh and shut up.
so it's like if I get one with only like 70,000 miles on it, that's not too bad. But if I really want to get a new car, but I can't afford a new car. I mean, I can. I would just go into extreme debt.
Move it, idiot.
And
Get
car
some
debt.
gear, ammo,
I
all
agree
those
with Dave
things that
Ramsey
help you
on
not
this.
die.
Car debt is what keeps people poor. Alright. And I don't really like newer cars anyway. If I'm gonna own a new car, it'd have to be like something cool. Yeah, because if you're gonna buy a new car, what's the point of just buying a new car that's lame? I don't know. Now, there is only one issue I have with the Ford Fusion, and that's that most of them are front-wheel drive.
10 seconds.
I want to see if I can't modify mine to be all-wheel drive by changing out some stuff. Now, they did have an all-wheel drive version of the titanium trim, but, it's like, that's a very specific trim, and those are kind of hard to actually, those are kind of rare to come by. They're not very common. I know one of the modifications I'm going to definitely get is one of those, like, stabilizer bars to put underneath your hood, like in your engine bay and whatnot, because that's really good for taking corners or whatever. My Ford Explorer comes with it, but you know the Ford Fusion doesn't. So you get one of those. Probably one of those cold air intakes. It would actually be better at keeping the car nice and cool. It wouldn't increase MPG. It would increase horsepower. And, you know, it would only increase about like 10 horsepower, but which ain't much. I'd probably also end up putting a decently tasteful spoiler on the back. Like, it wouldn't be anything too ridiculous. Because like ridiculous spoilers are just god awful. I hate them. I hate them when they look ridiculous. But then again, as is a lot of things, you know, having a second car is kind of cool. Or I might just buy a random car from Facebook Marketplace for under $1,000 and see what that kind of ownership does. Which honestly, that's something I might do. I don't know. I really want the Ford Fusion though. Really chasing that economy, which sucks because it's like I went from sports cars to economy cars and SUVs. It's like it sucks, but then again, it's also like wealth building because like, the more money you can save on gas and other crap like that, just keep the SUV for other uses. I know it's gonna come in handy because I actually moved out of my house with my SUV. Most of the shit I moved was from my SUV. Like I had to rent the U-Haul for like the dresser and like the bed frame. Well, actually no. For the bed, I actually like strapped it to the roof. I only used my SUV for like I only used the box truck from whatever store U-Haul. That's a U-Haul box truck. I only used it to haul a few things. So I don't have a whole lot of ridiculous shit that I would need a pickup truck for. It's like, you wouldn't believe how many people like tell me, go get a pickup truck, and it's like, no, I don't really like them. Like, yeah, they're kind of cool, but because they're pickup trucks, they're a more masculine SUV. In all actuality, I don't really like trucks or SUVs, but having one's nice. I'd rather have one than not have one. But, you know, like, this is going to be my second car. Well, not second car. It would be my third car owning already, you know. But having another car, it'd be like option number 2. You know, I want something semi-stylish, semi-sporty. And the Ford Fusions are actually a little bit sporty, believe it or not. You know, they're a really quick 4-cylinder car, and for being front-wheel drive, that kind of sucks. Obviously, it's wrong-wheel drive, but, you know, it doesn't do too bad in the snow. And honestly, bro, just as like a general car, I'll drive that till the wheels fall off until I can eventually afford to use that Fusion as a down payment along with some extra savings to really get that Mustang. You know, whereas if I just get the Mustang, you know, it's like, holy fuck, bro, now that Ford Explorer is going to be my daily driver. And I'm not saving money on the economy, you know, on my, you know, fuel economy. It just makes it more of a thing to drive that Mustang. The nice part is I have something fun I can drive, you know. But it's like, you know, if I can get the 3 of them, the Mustang and the what do you call it, the Fusion, along with keeping my Explorer, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'd have a fleet of vehicles to choose from. And guess what? They're all Fords.
supposed to live through that.
So yeah.
You know holes in your armor are bad, right?
I don't really know what my next car is going to be, guys. I really don't know. I might try to go get another BMW from Facebook Marketplace, so you know it's going to have a shitload of problems. I just really want to get another BMW. I don't know. I just want another car. I want an actual like car though. Like I don't want another SUV. I want an actual car, and I think that's the main reason I don't want a truck. When my SUV dies, then I'll get a truck. But I don't know. I kind of prefer SUVs over trucks, honestly. Yeah. I say kind of for a specific reason. I like that you can haul more people in an SUV than an actual pickup truck. Most pickup trucks are just like the single cab. Those are so cool. Crew cabs or king cabs or those 4-door ones, whatever they're fucking called. I don't know. Like I know the different terminologies, I just don't know what the 4-door truck is. Those are nice. I like those. But what's nice about the what do you call it? What's really nice about the SUV, the Ford Explorer, is my friends used to bitch about getting in the back of my coupe because it was 2 doors, so they had to squeeze on back there, and it was all processed to get everyone out. Whereas now no one bitches about getting inside of my Ford Explorer. Now the legroom in the back is a lot nicer than my BMW, but that's not saying very much. Because the nice benefit about the coupe was the seats were in there. You know, they were really back there. Whereas the Explorer, you know, like getting in, once I start the car, it auto adjusts my seat forward. What I really kind of like about my Explorer is like when I shut off the car, like the seat comes back and makes it easier to get out. And when I start it up, it goes forward. I don't like it, but I like it. You know? The auto folding, what do you call it? My Explorer doesn't have this, but I do like the auto folding 3rd row. So here's something I actually like doing with my Explorer. I like having someone else drive it, and then I like to sit on the 3rd row, and then have the 2nd row seats folded, and just proc at my feet. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. That's really fun to do. You know, so it's just a fun car. You know, it's not fun in the sense of like you're going super fast or you're doing all this crazy high performance shit, but it's a fun car you can make memories with. So I like that Explorer. So I want to keep it, but it's like it sucks having that be my only driving car, because it's really not my style. It's really not the kind of cars I like. You know, I don't. You know, I hate wagons though. Like I absolutely hate wagons and I hate minivans. So I'd have to own an SUV. And the SUV is a lot more roomier inside than a pickup truck. A pickup truck is more for like a duty or utility. So I don't want if I had to have one for work or if I worked a manual labor job. In which case I don't. I'm security. So I don't really need a truck for anything work related. So the only reason that I'd actually own a truck, and it would probably be a Ford F-250 Super Duty with the 4-door part to it, and I'd only have it be like that because it'd be a family truck. It would be just so that I can haul like a boat, haul stuff, haul like a motorcycle or a Mustang.
Area remains
You know?
secure.
I'm living a fantasy right now. Obviously, this is not reality. Talking about Mustangs and jet skis and
You won this round.
trucks,
I'll make sure the next
lots of
round is a
vehicles.
challenge.
But yeah, I like cars. I like owning a bunch of them. I never grew up in a house with a bunch of cars. I just, mom had a car, dad had a car, you know. Dad had a truck, mom had a Mustang. Um, my dad had a Ford F-150. I like the F-150, so if I was going to own a truck, it had to be an F-150. Then after he was done owning his F-150, he traded it in and got himself a red Ford Explorer Limited. Mine's a gunmetal gray Limited. Mine's a newer model than what he got back in the day, but he got a really, like, brand new. It was a nice SUV, bro. Like, it was nice, bro. It had like the tan leather seats. It had like the moon roof. It had, dude, it was nice. It was a nice car, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and say it was nice. I didn't like it because it was an SUV, but I'm like, dude, this is nice. Dude, it had like the full like passenger comforts and third row comforts, second row heated seats, bro. Like, it had the heated steering. It's like, bro, dude, had the power folding mirrors and shit, bro. Like, it was nice, bro. It was a nice SUV. It was nice. It had a bunch of fucking features, and it was decently stylish for what it was, and it was well capable. And yeah, just as a fact, you know, I kind of miss my dad's SUV, bro. I kind of miss my dad's Ford Explorer. But I own one now, you know, so I need to take more pride in owning it, you know, because I low-key actually, behind closed doors, I kind of hate that thing. I love it and hate it because it's like, I hate that it's my only car. I hate, like, I don't know, I've never seen myself owning one ever, and now I own one. It's like, I don't like that. But then there's part of me that also looks at it, and it's like, you know, it's really nice that I own these things. You know, as an adult, looking at it from an adult perspective, yeah. You know, if I were to have a family right now, I'd definitely love having that SUV. You know, but I don't have a fucking family, I don't really need one. I don't have a lot of fucking friends. But if I did, I would really enjoy it. But then again, I do like it for the, you know, it has some utility. It has a lot more utility than a sedan. So it's like if I had a sedan and that, you know, that would be fucking perfect, bro. AAA. But it's just not the case. But no, I gotta tell you what, guys. I'm gonna actually try to redo the car. I'm gonna redo some of the interior stuff. It's some of the upholstery's coming out. It's not my fault. It's the previous owner's fault, and they didn't take good care of it. So I'm gonna get the car actually detailed, and I'm actually gonna try to take care of it. I actually want the car to last. My goal is to get 320,000 miles out of the car, and anything after that is just perfectly fine. So I don't know, bro. There's like a solid 15% of me wants to try to try to trade my current Explorer for another one. I'm gonna be the Explorer guy. The 2016 limited edition. I'm only going to go for those limited edition models too. I like the limited trim. Yeah, the 2016 has the heated steering wheel, aluminum dash trim, aluminum door trim. Yeah. See that right there, my boys? Got the 3.5 in it. 14 grand. That's about how much I paid for mine, but I ended up paying way more. 250 a month, and I'm paying like 470 a month. You know, with the crazy credit bullshit. So if I had like 6 grand down, I would actually prefer to buy that car outright in full, and then just kill the other Explorer by just driving it till it dies, and then just I don't know. I want a million cars, bro. I literally want infinite cars. Can I do? It's the question. I think not. Anyway, guys, it's getting really late. I do have work tomorrow. I know it's not truly really that late, but I want to go get some grocery shopping done before the night's out. I really just needed to rant because it's like I'm just tired of this boomer ass advice, and I'm kind of sort of lost in life. I don't know what to do next. I think obviously the next objective is find affordable housing that's closer to work. Then obviously getting the rest of my debts cleared out of my name, building up some solid savings, money, aiming for that promotion at work to make more money and spend less money, so that I can afford to just buy the next car outright and not have to worry about car debt. Right? That's just a sort of methodology there. But I think the next car I want to get is definitely going to be an economy Ford, like a Ford Fusion, because I at least want to own one because they look really fun to drive. I've heard some great reviews about them. I've heard a lot of great used reviews, and I've heard a shitload of awesome reviews for them. I've heard a lot of great high mileage reviews with good maintenance, and I've seen a lot of people talk a lot of shit about their transmissions. But my uncle is a transmission mechanic. He specifically works on transmissions. So, needless to say, we can easily get it looked at and worked on and have the necessary parts replaced and the necessary maintenance done to it to keep it running. So I'm not too worried about it. Um, it only cost me a beer, like a single beer or case of beer for my uncle to really work on the car. So, I mean, maybe $50. But compared to just paying the crazy bullshit cost now, if we have to order parts, yeah, I'm paying for it myself, and you know, if someone else besides my uncle works on it, then yeah, I have to pay actual money on it. But my uncle quotes me at a case of beer. So if I bring him a case of beer, he's fine. So, but yeah, no, it kind of sucks because I really wanted to get into like video vlogging and like living with a roommate, but it's like that might not happen this year. It might happen next year. I don't know. We'll see. We gotta get Steven on his up on his feet. Get him really started. Because he's still got a lot of development. I still have a lot of development we gotta do before we can get a house, I think. So. This house is a lot of responsibilities. But yeah, I need to go. Cheese curds. Real Winston cheese. Wisconsin to the Winston. And I have my air fryer right here. So actually, I'm gonna try to cook these with the air fryer. I'll have me some cheese curds. I like cheese curds. And no, I'm not saying cheese turds, I'm saying cheese curds. I also have this chicken I can eat, bro. Some chicken. Alright, guys. But no, I'm probably gonna go get me some McDonald's and heat up some cheese curds, honestly, bro. If I'm being honest. But I do need to go head up the grocery store to go grab some soda and some other stuff. So, I'm getting off here, bro.